Record, and we're on. Thank you for joining us. We're sorry we interrupted your placid time at the beach. It's a beautiful day for the beach and the boardwalk.
Absolutely perfect day. How are you?
But yeah, I mean, thank you for joining us again. We have 3 students who all sat in on your meeting. Let me adjust the camera so you can see all of them. I think I'm in the way, so let me get out of the way.
Okay.
You can see Sheena. You can see there they all are.
Okay. Hi, guys. All right. I'm all yours. Sorry I'm late, but I'm here. Okay.
All right. So whichever one wants to go first, go ahead, guys. This is Sheena, Alexander, and GK.
Okay. My name you all know. Okay. So you go ahead with questions. I don't know what you're looking for, so I'm going to keep quiet till I know what you want. All right?
I'll start.
Go ahead.
All right. So, like in the previous article that we read in class, you mentioned that you and your family members stayed in the room that was 4 by 5. But like, how tall was the actual room?
I hear you.
Oh yeah, that's the end of the question.
I'm okay.
I just in the previous article you mentioned that you and your family members stayed in a room that was 5 by 4. But how tall was the room itself? Like how the width? How high was it? Can you hear me? Or
I'm losing you. I'm half and half. I'm losing you. I don't know. I don't understand the question. I'm losing you.
So, yeah, we read an article, and I think it was your opinion piece in the New York Times.
Right.
And you had described the room that your family.
It was in a barn, not a room, in a barn. You know what a barn looks like? A barn is made out of panels, small, one door. No windows, pointy roof like this. Do you know what a barn looks like? An old-fashioned barn?
Yes.
Can you picture it? Okay, the barn. So we made the barn a little smaller. It's not a room, it's in a barn. The barn we took away, made the barn smaller. The space we took away was 4 feet by 5. The length of a person, the width of 5 people. Head to toe. We lay down like herrings, head and toe, head and toe, head and toe. Can you picture that? Clear picture? Okay.
All right. Okay.
Take off the mask so I'll be clearer because it's not clear.
Okay. When you spoke for our school last time, you had mentioned at first you didn't want to share your story to protect the minds of the children. How did you go from that mentality to sharing your story with multiple people?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it clear. I don't know. Can you repeat the question?
Okay. Last time when you came to our school, you mentioned that at first you didn't want to share your story to protect the minds of our children. How do you go from that mentality to shining light on the events that took place to high schoolers?
I don't understand the question. Sorry. It's not, maybe it's my hearing or maybe it's the echo. Maybe it's the echo. I'm sorry, I don't hear.
That's okay. It's okay.
Can you tell me the question? I'll be glad to answer.
So the question Sheena's asking is, I believe that when you spoke to the students a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned hesitation to share your story because you didn't want to frighten kids. Is that basically the gist?
Yeah.
And then you started sharing. So Sheena is asking about what changed.
Okay, when I think about it, when I'm involved in it, I'm able to open up. when I'm able, when I start, I can't stop, I should say, to share it. But it's not easy to share, to start, share mice and rats and cats and all. It's not easy to share, to sit 9 people in a quarters 4 by 5, how many disagreements we had and whatever. It's not easy. Many things I don't share. Many. 3/4, I would say, I don't share. I share only things that I'm able to, because it's not easy when you're sharing it. I live it through again.
All right, the question that I have for you is, like, what helped you get through the Holocaust? Like, what was, like, what helped you get through it? Did you, like, do something to, like pass your time?
Hey, Ms. Levy, did you hear
No,
George's question?
I heard nothing.
All right,
Absolutely.
so
Sorry.
no, that's all right. One thing that we're learning here is the importance of projecting. So I'm speaking, and I'm always a little bit loud. So the GK is asking about, how your time you spent in this barn and in this, this confined space. How did you cope? How did you get through it?
Not easy. That's why I try to say it's not easy to talk, to cope. It's not 1 day or 2 days. It's 2 years. It's every day is a miracle that you're alive. Not easy to cope. And a lot of things made it work. And did you watch the movie Anne Frank? It shows you some parts of it, how she's boisterous and she screams and they laugh and they fight, and none of this happened by us. My father controlled. He didn't allow us to yell or to cry or to talk or to sneeze or to, he was in charge. He was like, in a good way, of course, trying to make him, how important it is for us to behave, to do what he says. My uncle, on the other hand, at one point, you see, never share the inside story much, never, because it's very, very, very difficult to share such intimate points. My uncle once said, I have enough, I'm leaving. I can't sit here anymore. I'm gonna go kill myself, I have enough. My father grabbed him by his neck and says, you want to die? You die now right here, not go outside. I will not let you out, because if you go out, somebody catches you, and I know you're going to give us all out. So this is something I never talked about. It's the first time I'm telling it aloud. I'm giving an example. It's not an easy, but if you have a will to live and if you have a hope, you want to make it. My father had an aim to make it. He said, we have to make it. Some of us will make it to be able to tell the world. His power was, he was hoping for the end and make it. To make it, you need to be strong, and to make such horrible atrocities is only by hope and by ignoring the reality and living in a hope that you're going to make it. And an aim. And this is what my father had. And he was able to control all 9 of us to make it. It's something very difficult to talk about if you want the details. Did I give a little bit more explanation? Did it help you a little bit?
Yes, thank you. Who's next? Loud, okay, project.
What do you wish for future generations to know about the Holocaust? Like, if the fact is out of like
I wish, that's a good question. I wish for young people like you, that's why I give so much of myself, to know and to learn from it. First of all, learn not to follow, to allow it, and to know is to know how to learn to make it. Like we have this virus now for the past 2 years. When it first came out, it really, really was a horrible, horrible thing. But it's showing you by now, each of us learned to live with it a little bit. We going out, we hoping there's an end, we think at it, and yet it's not. So what I'm hoping is young people, first of all, will learn not to hate. Only when you hate somebody so bad can you behave the way the last atrocities happened to Jews. Only if we hate some, because they did not see, you did not see us as you didn't see me as a person to behave the way you did. So if you learn not to hate, that means you're learning to balance. You're learning what's right and what's wrong. You're learning, hey, this is not right. I'm bullying this, like you're in a school. Another kid bullies another. Bullying in school is very famous. And a kid like you, like I'm expecting, and they said, you know, this is not right. This guy is bullying this little kid, this innocent, doesn't know how to behave. So you should step in and change it. Teach that bully kid it's wrong. You can't be kind and nice to each other. The world would be a much better world. I expect from the young people to learn some righteousness, some right, be kind, generous. And the main thing is not to hate. Talk to your parents. Read the papers twice. Read not paper one. Don't buy what everybody tells you. The instant information that you get is 90% not correct. This is why I am putting myself out. It isn't easy, trust me. And many times I say, I have enough, I'm not doing it. But on the other hand, when children come along, I'm willing to do it again. I'm hoping, like you, interested to be more questions and more questions. Did I give you a little bit hint?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Thank you for wanting to know.
Next. Project.
In light of current events, namely the war between Russia and Ukraine currently, how do you think people should respond to the news of human rights violations being committed today?
Good question, good question. I come from that part of Europe, from Lviv, exactly that part. My heart, I don't watch the news. My heart goes out to them. I don't understand why the rest of the world is allowing. Russia decides he has a reason to want to occupy the country. Yes, of course, everybody wants power. Even though I must say the Ukrainians and the Poles, they were participating with the Germans, because the Germans did not know who is a Jew. I don't look Jewish. I spoke a perfect language. So I could have passed as an Aryan anytime, but the Pole in Ukraine would give me out. So I remember that. But I also remember that Tajik 16-year-old boy saved my life. So when I look at the Ukrainians, I cry. I can text to my congressman. I send a message to the president. I did. What did I get an answer? The answer was, we're doing the best we can. To me, this is not an answer, but I have no power. I have power to send money, which I do. I send to my people that I know, but they then don't need, because they left Ukraine way before the war started. So they're safe. They're safe in Spain. It's okay. So my heart goes out. I cannot listen to the news and I cannot watch it because I don't understand why it's allowed. Again, it's allowed to kill people because they want more land, more power. This is the best I can give on that question. I don't like what I see, and it's wrong. All I can do is send messages to my congressman, to my president. That's what I do. I object.
Thank you for that.
How has everything that you've been through affect like your general outlook on life?
Okay, I did not hear her question. You have to help me.
Nice and loud, George.
How has everything you've been through affect your general outlook on life?
I still didn't get the whole sentence together clear. Please help. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. I'll take 50% on it. Can you? Where's the boss?
Well, thank you for that description.
You're the boss.
Sometimes I don't feel like the boss.
But you gotta have a boss.
But yeah, so George is asking, based on your experience, how has your experiences in life, shaped your outlook? Everything that you went through as a child, and how do you so much of what we read in regards to your story and the opinion piece in the Times, there's such positivity and optimism and hope.
That's thanks to my parents. I was young, and thanks, my parents died at 94 and 93, so I had quite a few years. I made one mistake, which I want you to learn. Ask your parents questions today. Write down things, because later on it's too late. I don't have my parents ask the questions, but whatever that I have to give my parents thank you. My father always preached not to hate. He always said there's an answer to everything. And he always used to say, God gave people choices. People choose to save. Tajik chose to save. The other one chose to kill. There are a certain group of people that need that power, that hatred. They'll thrive on it. And there are certain people who understand, and they try to, like my parents taught me, to be and the reason he taught me that, because he said the only way we can make a life and raise a family is by going forward, remembering, but not living on it, not wanting revenge in being absorbed in hating. If I would be absorbed in hating, I would be a mess today. But now I'm a happy person. Whatever I don't have, I say to myself, I probably don't need it. Hey, I don't have it, I don't need it. Whatever I have, that's what I need. I don't have it, I don't need it. I've lived a life that I'm content with whatever I have, because I have everything that I need. I have freedom. I have a roof over my head. I have enough food. I can go, I can work, I can stop, I can travel. I have freedom. And freedom is something so dear. The only way you can appreciate it completely is when you don't have it. I didn't have it, so I remember the good part. And thanks to my parents and his teaching, over and over, hate will not get you anywhere. Only by education and understanding and maybe doing good is going forward. And that's what all the survivors did, 99%. We carry a luggage very heavy, but we all, and our children all made it. Okay?
That's loud.
What emotions Russians had like in your head, like once I'm pretty sure the Russians freed the Holocaust, the survivors that were still in concentration camps. Like, how did you feel once they like freed everyone who was in there?
Did you get that?
I only had, and only the end I heard. What did he say at the beginning?
So once the camps were liberated, the war was coming to an end. Like, how would you describe your feelings from what you can remember and the feelings of your family members?
You have no idea how I feel. I tell you how I feel. Life. Wow. Wow. The best years of my life was from 45 to 49. We didn't have any money, we didn't have any food, we didn't have any clothing, but we had freedom. I could go right away. We lived in one barrack in a room in this place in army barracks from 45 to 49. But we had right away education. We had enough food. The Jewish agencies came through with the food to help. We had freedom. I was walking, I was screaming, I was laughing, I was learning to live and enjoy. And I wasn't the only one. All of the survivors lived. We were in this place. It was not only one, it was many, many places. I was in Austria, in gorgeous areas. And I'm feeling my freedom, much I enjoy. And we had school right away. We had no money, we had no clothing, we had nothing else. We had no home, we didn't care. We had freedom and hoping to get an Israel. And we did get the Israel. Everybody was hoping for the same. We need an Israel because anti-Semitism is as big today as ever before. I don't remember it within 75 years after the war, it should be as big as it's now. Not just in Europe, United States too. Believe me, I am scared, but I have where to run. I don't need a visa to go to Israel. Did I give you a little bit of an answer?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
George?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. How do like all of your experiences affect the relationships you have with people around you?
How did my experience with other people, the relationship?
Yeah, like how do you experience?
Thank God, I'm most comfortable between my own. That I must agree. All our friends and all our survivors. I call it, we have a code. Where were you? How'd you make it? Each one gave a code. My passcode is I was in hiding, and the other passcode I was in there. So once we established that, and we more or less talk about it, yes, we do. Even till today, I just came back from the boardwalk with one of the girls, with one of the women. One of the women, a little older than me, we were talking about incidents, what happened then, and how it happened today. So once we established, so I could, thank God, I'm maybe pretty good balance. I was able to be friends, Americans, and in fact, when I came to New Orleans, I was the only child in the class, came from Europe, a survivor, and everybody treated me very, very well. I was at awe how nice United States people are. And at the end of the 8th grade, when I came to New Orleans, I was able to go into, I was 16 and a half. I was able to get into 4th grade with my education, whatever I did. But I didn't have the language, so they put me 1st grade. So by the time June came, I started in September. By the time June came, I was graduated 8th grade. Everybody was so proud of me. They wanted me to give them a speech of the graduation class. So I did. So I made notes and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. But once I came in front of the class, kids like you, but a whole auditorium full of kids know nothing what happened in Europe, and no one can even understand. Even I don't understand how it happened. I don't understand how the world could have stood by. Okay, you wanted to kill, but don't torture. So I realized I'm looking at these children, they're so innocent. And what did I do? I tore up my speech, and I give my speech, how they should appreciate the freedom United States gives you. How great it is to be here, what a great country, how powerful it is to enjoy, to have freedom, to go and do and learn. You cannot understand freedom unless you missed it. And I said, don't abuse it. Enjoy your freedom. Use it, but don't abuse it. I already understood then we should not abuse that freedom the United States gives us. Till today, I have the same feeling. Okay? A little bit again, not much, but a little bit.
Anyone else? So I think we're good there.
Very good.
We appreciate your time, Ms. Levy. You know, you're always.
Well, it's young people, and that's the people I want to reach. So I'm hoping out of these 3, one of them will come through for me, will learn to be a good person and not to hate, and to see when something is wrong done, he should open his mouth and say it's wrong. to read the right papers, to know who to vote for, to not to buy what you read, to understand and appreciate the freedom that this country has. And you only can understand it when you live someplace else. No way can you appreciate what you have unless you go and live and you know. Thank you for wanting. Nice meeting you guys. Have a great day.
Miss Levy,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Levy, can you hear me?
You okay? Everybody's okay?
I just wanted to say one thing before we leave, just on a personal note.
Go ahead.
I'm Lauren Weinstein, we met the original time. Nice to see you again, but my grandparents were survivors as well. So hearing your story, you touched me, and it was
So
very
you
good
can,
opportunity.
so I'm depending on you to teach. I'm depending on you to teach, not to hate. That's all. I'm not asking much to make
No.
sure it doesn't happen again. But it's here. It's here now. The only way it can stop, the Jews alone cannot stop this hatred. It has to come from the government. The government has to give an example. Otherwise, it's not going to work. The minute the government will start being anti-Semitic, I will run. I don't know where, but I know I'll run.
And I want to thank you again from myself and from everyone else.
Thank you for wanting to hear. My pleasure. I'm sorry I was late though. Bye-bye.